What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to take you on a little trip down memory lane. It's a little painful for me, but I hope you get a kick out of it. I hope you can laugh at me with me. Now when I look back and I think about this whole situation, I can laugh at myself. I think that's a part of me, a part of my humor, able to laugh at the situation. In all actuality, I'm crying on the inside. I'm crying right now. Anyways, we're not going to get all emotional. Maybe a little later, but not right now. You know, when you're young, a lot of times you're dumb. At least I was. I made a lot of stupid choices. We all know that. And one of these choices one day was, I'm going to go play with a gun. And that's what I did. I went and played with a gun. I went and shot the gun. Somebody called the cops. I ended up getting locked up. That's the story. Just playing. That's not the story. I mean, it is kind of, but that's not how I'm going to tell it. That's not how it ended. This is how this story began. After somebody called the cops for that, the cops came around my neighborhood. They found me. I fit the description of the person who had called them, and they stopped me, put me in the back of the cop car, and didn't say a word to me, just left me back there to my thoughts. Everybody's walking around. There's like 10 cop cars around, forensic, canine unit, and while I was sitting in the back of the cop car, they were roaming around the neighborhood searching for the gun. Well, they found the gun, and they brought it to me, and they were like, does this look familiar? I was like, no. That didn't work out too well. I ended up telling on myself immediately right there. They go, no, are you sure? We can get fingerprints off of it. And then I was like, yeah, that's it. They were like, well, where'd you get it? I found it. I found it in the cut, in the little alleyway. Found it. They were like, oh, you found it. Well, this gun is linked to a burglary that happened in this area. I was like, I don't know nothing about that. But we all know that's a lie because, I've told the story. Yeah, I got locked up for grand larceny. That was what it was. I broke into somebody's house and stole their guns or whatever the case may be. They found me, they found the gun, and I told them I found the gun. That's what I told them. I found the gun in an alley. And they were like, oh, okay. They got in after sitting in that cop car for about an hour, and they drove me to the precinct. Well, see, I had never been locked up before as an adult. They brought me to this precinct, and they put me in this cell. Turns out it was an interrogation cell. I should have known from watching TV. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that I hadn't been charged with nothing yet. They kept coming in like every 40 minutes and asking me questions, and I kept saying the same thing. I have no clue where the gun came from. I found it in an alley. I kept saying the same thing. Same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, world, I implore you, if you are ever in a situation where you are being interrogated by some police officers, shut the front door. Just shut up. Stop talking. You ain't gonna do nothing but give them ammunition. You're just loading their gun. The more you talk, it's like, and they're gonna shoot you with it. They don't care. I don't care. I don't care how nice you think they are. They're not nice. They're not nice at all. They're ready to smoke your boots. They are. I mean, that's just what their job is. They're certified boot smokers. And if you ain't never seen a certified boot smoker, it's that person that smiles in your face and gives you this comment right here. If you cooperate, I'll put in a word for you with the judge. I'm telling you right now, all cops have said that to somebody. And they do. They put in a word. You want to know what they say? Your Honor, he cooperated. He told us everything. The judge looks at him and goes, guilty. Boot smoked, off to prison you go. I mean, it's as simple as that. That's what you get for telling on yourself. And that's what I ended up doing. See, when they were talking to me, I thought I was already locked up. And I just kept, when they would come in, I didn't do it. Didn't matter. They didn't have nothing. I ended up giving it to them. They come in and they go, hey, your friends told us what you did. So you might as well go ahead and tell us too, because you're about, you're done. You're done. You're pretty much SOL. And I'm not talking about your standard of learning test. No. When you're SOL, if you don't know what that means, you should be watching other YouTube videos like learn to read, or other things along those lines. American sayings, watch that YouTube video. But yeah, you're SOL, you're out of luck. And I'll tell you what right now, that's the last thing you want to be when you're in an interrogation room. They came and they said that to me, and I tried to cover it up as much as I can. They made me do it. I was scared for my life. Didn't even know if I just kept my mouth shut. You know, they can only hold me for what? A day? And then they have to let me go. They had to charge me with firing a gun in city limits or something, which is a misdemeanor. They couldn't get me with a possession of a firearm because they didn't have the gun on me. But I told on myself, and I got locked up. And that's along this time where I met Big Puerto Rican Day Parade. It's along this time where, I learned that you don't let another man smack you in the face. This is that same time, that same bid. Well, I ended up getting sentenced, and what I got sentenced to was 8 years of state prison, all suspended, which means I go home on probation upon completion of the boot camp program in Southampton. This boot camp program, I believe, was 4 months long. Oh my God. Do 4 months, go home. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what this story is about. Now let me tell you about the boot camp program, or at least my experience in the boot camp program. Now mind you, when I was a juvenile, I was in a program called Young Marines. It's an awesome program. It was like hardcore Boy Scouts. Like we did some serious stuff. I changed a tire on a 5-ton. You know what a 5-ton truck is? You know how big a 5-ton truck tire is? Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of cool. We did a lot of cool stuff. Also, as a juvenile, when I got kicked out of school, I went into another program that was 6 months long. This wasn't like a Boy Scouts. This was an alternative to getting locked up as a juvenile. I went into this program where I got my GED and I took my ASVAB test, and I had a good time. You know, I was able to grow, learn some things, but, still wasn't ready to do right, and I messed that up also. Well, here I find myself about to be 19 years old. I just did a year in jail waiting on court. Find myself about to be 19, and I'm on my way to Southampton boot camp program. I had in my head, like, I've already done this. I can do push-ups. I know the exercises. I know how to march. I know how to stand still. I know all the things that they're going to want me to do. I know how to make my bed, and I know how to stay organized in my Foot Locker. I know what to do to keep them off me. I can do this 4 months, and I can go home. I must not have known myself, because I can't shut up, and I can't stand still. Those are the two things that, golly, I did so many push-ups, it's ridiculous. But anyways, I was Mr. Know-It-All. My mom gave me that nickname. So here I was, almost 19 years old, and I was on my way to boot camp. I was on that bus, Mr. Know-It-All, sitting there thinking I know everything about boot camp that I need to know to get through the program. So I'm gonna go in there, and guess what? Guess what Mr. Know-It-Alls do? They do it their way. Well, guess what boot camp instructors do? They break that mentality. They try to just snap you in half. They try to break your will and build you back up. That's what they would say. We're trying to destroy who you are and build who you need to become. What? You can't beat me. That was my little 140-pound tail talking inside my head. Well, I got there, they get us off the bus, like, get off the bus, get off the bus, throwing your bags out. You grab your bag, you're holding your bag, you're standing in this formation, they got you in this big circle, they're in the middle, and they're just like, you're just doing all types of exercises as soon as you get there while you're waiting to get your head shaved and lice tested, and then you gotta take a butt naked shower in front of like 50 other dudes. I already knew, I was like, oh, this is gonna be tough. But you can't break me. So they got me down in the front leaning rest position. Do you know what the front leaning rest position is? That's when you're in the push-up position, extended arms. And they want you to just hold that. And my mindset was like, you can't make me. I won't break. No knees. Oh yeah, I'm here to the end. I'm the man. I've been working. As soon as I found out I was going to boot camp, I was in the jail. I was doing like 1,000 push-ups a day. I was ready for this. Not as ready as I thought. I wasn't ready up here, y'all. That was the issue. I wasn't ready up here. I was still like this. I was ready to fight. I was ready to fight everything coming my way. So the program actually has like a working aspect. It's not just all physical exercise. It's also physical labor. Let me tell you what type of labor. They had us out here swing blading. Do you know what a swing blade is? I didn't, but I found out it was just a lead pipe with this thing like this with a blade across the bottom. And they got me out there chopping grass down like this. Or we got bush axes knocking bushes down out of these fields. Man, they out there working us, man. Working us. And I'm fighting it every way. I mean, I'm working. But I mean, I'm just doing the least I can. But it was every morning, every day, Monday through Friday, that's what we did, man. We swung blade, we bush axe, and that was it. But while I was in this program, my bucking would have me, I've cut grass around the compound with scissors. Instead of a weed whacker on the fence line, they made me crawl the fence line one night and snip the grass. They also had another punishment called 30 minutes of incentive training. You know, after everybody cleaned up, took their showers, and was laying in the bed, they'd call us, whoever had 30 minutes of incentive training. I was usually at that party. And they would start it. And they'd be like, push-ups. And you have to go down, you do push-ups. And then they'd be like, jumping jacks. And you jump up and you do jumping jacks. And then they'd be like, flutter kicks. And you drop down on your back and you flutter your little feet. As fast as your little heart could take it. And they would keep just changing the exercise every few seconds for 30 minutes. You could not stop. If you stopped, they started it over again. Jog in place, jumping jacks, push-ups, jog in place, push-ups, jumping jacks, curls, sit-ups, front-leaning rest position, go. You know, like, dude, they wore you out. After that, you got to go take a shower, you clean the shower, then you went to bed. Well, just so you know, you lost about 2 hours of sleep more than the rest of the team. So the next day when you wake up, you're the one there going, sleeping, standing up. So being tired of standing up, I had come up with this grandeur plan, a way for me to be able to sit down. I told the drill instructor I needed to go see medical, that I hadn't taken a poop since I'd been there. I'd been there about 2 weeks. I get to the nurse's station. I'm talking to the nurse. She's like, oh, so you haven't had a bowel movement? I'm like, no, I have not. Well, we're going to give you this. And she starts to give me milk of magnesia. That's what it was. Milk of magnesia. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen. If you drink milk of magnesia, you will poop water. Literally, drink water, poop water, like 2 minutes later. And when you got diarrhea, they can't make you stay at the position of attention for long. You see, I was allowed to just leave and run and go sit on the toilet. So for at least 2 weeks, I kept getting my milk of magnesia and I had diarrhea. Until one time the nurse came to me and she said, hey, look, you know, you keep telling me you're constipated and we keep giving you this milk of magnesia and you keep running to the toilet. Having diarrhea could be a bad thing for you. I was like, oh my God. I didn't know you could probably die of dehydration or whatever else from having constant diarrhea. I thought I had just figured out a way to sit down. I was tired of standing up. I went and took naps on the toilet. I was doing anything I could not to stand up. I was so tired. And this was a crazy, crazy experience for me. And mind you, they were physical. They got physical with you. They were allowed to grab you, move you, push you, trip you, throw stuff at you, in your face, screaming, calling you names. They did all that. And I wasn't about it, but guess what? I was like, I kept telling myself, 4 months, 4 months, 4 months. You could do this. Well, one day we were out. We were swing blading. We were at the pig farm. It was like up at the top of a hill across the street by the actual prison at Southampton. And if you watch the video with Terry, we actually drove to that property where that prison used to be at. And there was this hill where at the top of the hill they kept the pigs. Well, we get there, we're swing blading. Well, I guess one of the probates, is what they called us, found this thing. And he brought it to the guard and he was like, hey guard, what is this? Now mind you, this guard, this drill instructor was new, he was young, he was green. And you already know what green means. He was naive, he didn't know what he was doing. He said, everybody, gather round, come here. So everybody gathers around and he goes, This right here, I want y'all to be careful. The spikes on these things are really sharp, really pointy. They will stick you. This is a Jimson pod from the Jimson plant. And inside these pods, there's seeds. And if these seeds are ingested, you can hallucinate, hard cotton mouth, swelling of the throat. Maybe, you could have an allergic reaction. All I heard in that whole conversation was, if you eat these seeds, you might hallucinate. What is wrong with me? What is my deal? That's all I heard. I didn't hear no swelling of the throat. I didn't hear you might have an allergic reaction. I didn't hear none of that. All I heard was you might hallucinate. So what do? I walk around and I talk to all my fellow probates, and I convinced about 3 or 4 other guys. I can't remember quite how many others there were, but I know it wasn't just me, to meet me on the other side of this pig hut. I found some Jimson plants. Let's eat them. We'll hallucinate together. I don't know, guys. I was like, dude, come on. We'll hallucinate. It'll be funny. Let's have some fun at this place. All I can do right now is put my head down. The logic behind that is so idiotic. I can't believe that was me. But I guess I can because I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember we had these big heavy-duty gloves, and you needed them to break these pods open because the freaking spikes on these things are long and sharp, really sharp. So I bust one of these things open, and we just start eating seeds. Bust another one open, other people start eating seeds. So there's like 3 or 4 other guys. There's like 4 or 5 of us all together eating these seeds. And about an hour goes by, and sure enough, that officer was right. We began to trip balls, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not over-exaggerating. It was bad. It was real bad. And they knew something was up. Man, we get back after working, trying to keep it under control, which was extremely hard. But nothing really big happened there at the job. It wasn't really until it became time to pack up, get on the bus, and head back to the compound that we all really began to trip hard. Now, let me tell you something. Everybody knew that we were on something. They knew it. They knew it. You couldn't deny the fact that we're back there laughing and wide-eyed and looking at stuff and waving our hands in front of our face. I'm telling you right now that stuff works, but it worked a little too much. One guy did have an allergic reaction and his throat closed up. He couldn't eat. He got scared. He ran to the medical and he told them everything. They came back and they sent everybody out but me and like the 3 other guys that were left there, and they started talking to us. And one guy, he was scared. He was seeing elephants, or an elephant, from what I can remember. He kept saying, the elephant, the elephant, the elephant. I don't know if it was just the way he was saying something else or whatever, but I figured he was seeing an elephant because that's what he kept hollering. And they're trying to talk to him and calm him down, and he was just like, the elephant, the elephant, the elephant, the elephant. That was kind of tripping me out. But me over here, seasoned drug addict, I'm over there going, oh, God, that dude sees elephants. I start looking around the room like, ooh, what animal am I gonna see? That didn't happen for me. My hearing stopped though. I was sitting directly underneath this giant industrial ceiling fan. They had us all out there. We were eating our bag lunch. It was dinner time, but they served us a lunch. And I remember trying to eat this peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I could not swallow for the life of me. This stuff gave me the worst cotton mouth I've ever had in my life. I swear to God, I thought my tongue was like asphalt. Like nothing would go down my throat. Nothing. I was trying to drink water. I was getting some water down, but that was it. And I was so focused on eating that I didn't realize that there was a helicopter outside. I guess I started moving around kind of sporadically or whatever. This guard comes up to me and he helps me up to my feet and he gets right in my face, and this is all I hear. Well, that wasn't all I heard. Actually, while he was doing that, what I heard was... Literally, I'm looking at him going... Got the helicopter in my ear. I couldn't hear a word he said. Not one word. Not one word. I didn't even hear like the noise. I really thought he was messing with me. And that's all I heard. Ladies and gentlemen, come to find out that there was never any helicopter. I had focused so much in on the ceiling fan that was above my head that is all I heard was boop, 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 boop. Well, I started laughing. One thing you don't do is laugh in a drill instructor's face. He was really not pleased with me. And it was actually at that moment that they decided to lock all of us up. They threw us all in a side pocket. If you don't know what a side pocket is like the hole. But it's just a little cell off to the side. The size of my pocket. Literally, all that was in there was a toilet and a bed. That was it. So I'm back there to finish my trip out. Well, it was miserable. It was miserable. Nothing else really happened of that. I got scared. I laid down, put my face in the pillow, and went to sleep. But I'm going to tell you right now, I was tripping so bad. That my mind cut off all noise but the ceiling fan. Whoop, 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 whoop. That was all I was hearing. Whoop, 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 whoop. And I guess the drill instructor wasn't too happy when I was like, ah! And that's when all noise started coming back. It was kind of funny because as he was talking, it was like, no, I can't believe you doing this. You're gonna die. And that's really when I was like, oh my God, why are you yelling at me, bro? So we end up in the side pocket. I wake up the next day because I stuffed my face in the pillow, wrapped my head in the blanket, and tried to go to sleep. Instead, I had weird dreams. That was it. Nobody really comes back and talks to us for like 2 days. I think I actually missed a visit during that time. I believe my mom rode up there to visit me. And when she got there, this 2-hour drive, hour and a half drive, they tell her, you can go back, your son is in the hole. I know she was probably quite pissed off. Were you pissed off, Ma? So it wasn't until about after, 2-3 days that someone comes back there with the disciplinary report, writes us up, this and that, and they give us all the option. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? And of course, we're all like, we want to stay. Because go meant go back to jail, get violated because it was a stipulation of everyone's probation that they complete this program. If you didn't complete the program, you got violated. You had to go back in front of the judge for the time that was suspended, which for me was the 8 years, and you had to be you had to go through trial and everything again. This program doesn't exist anymore due to the physical force that I said was being used there. Soon after I left, they shut the program down. But yeah, they come there like, do you want to stay or do you want to go? We're all like, we want to stay. They're like, well, this is the deal. If you stay, you got to start the program all over again. What? I'm halfway done with the program. What do you mean? The 4 of us have been here for 2 months already. They're like, you got to start it all over. That's the deal. We're like, all right. But then you hear like this one guy down in the end cell, he was like, man, screw that. Send me back to the jail. I ain't doing this. Send me back to the jail. They sent him back to the jail. I know. Because I watched that bus pull up and take him. Because I started the program over again. We spent about another week in those side pocket cells until the next group of guys came in and they pulled us out of those cells and just put us in the middle of that same circle that I told you about in the beginning where they exercised everybody. Now, mind you, this is what happened. They began to use us as examples for everything. Let me show you how it's done. Probate Tordoff, get over here. And they would make me do it. I had to do everything. Well, my little rebellious tail, after about a month of that, decided, screw this. And they came in and something was wrong. Like I was laying in my bed. They came in, something was wrong. People were talking. We're supposed to go to bed. You're not supposed to talk at night. And they were like, Mr. Tordoff, what happens when you're not quiet in the bed area? I was like, you know what happens when you quit? I quit. And I got up and I grabbed my Foot Locker and I like slammed it on the ground and my stuff went everywhere. People were like, ooh, toothbrush, toothpaste. You know, they were a little happy. Stuff went everywhere. Marched my tail all the way back to where the little side pocket was, and I sat down right next to the whole door. It was like, send me back to the jail. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. And I did. I went back to the jail, and I got violated, and I ended up going to prison. And that's how I would end up in Sussex 1 State Penitentiary. Now let me tell you something. It's hard to swallow your pride. It's hard to do what's right. I, for one, didn't start really doing what was right till about a year ago. It was like my life was, if I did something right, I might have messed up. I didn't mean to do it. You know what I mean? Like, that was just what it was. Man, I wish I would have made some better choices. And y'all know that. I've talked about that a million times. This was an example of what not to do. Pretty much my life has been that, an example of what not to do. But see, this is my mindset now. And I thank God for it. And I thank, my lucky stars for having this mindset. And I still have rough times, but maybe the reason why my life was the way it was so that I could help other people. Maybe the next person might not have been able to deal with the type of lifestyle I live, constantly being locked up and away from people. And so I made all these bad choices and examples were made out of me so that I can talk now and help somebody else. Man, if you're out there and you're thinking about getting in trouble, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, it's not worth it. If you're out there and you've already gotten in trouble and they're about to give you an opportunity to try and redeem yourself or make up for it, or a diversion, a way to get out of going to prison, some type of program. Do that program and be the best person, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks about you while you're in that program. Just do it. And while you're out here, do everything right. Kids, I'm talking to you too. Don't worry about the cool kids. I'm telling you right now, be the nerd in school right now. And I promise you, all them cool kids will be looking at you when y'all are grown, going, damn, I wish I'd have done what he did. Because that's me. That's what I'm doing now. I have people that I knew in school, and I see them now, and I go, golly, I wish I'd have made the same choices they did. But that's it, man. It is funny. I did a lot of funny things in my life, and it's all right now to be able to look back at it and laugh at it. But, man, I'll tell you what, it sucked then, and I don't want anybody else to have to deal with the same thing I did. Learn from my mistakes. But until next time, man, y'all enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day. Peace!